What's up, y'all? It's Chris here to do my UFC 111 predictions. Big card, probably the biggest card so far this year for the UFC, or at least it feels like it. Maybe because they got the primetime special going on for the GSP Hardy fight. But I think this is the one the fans have been anticipating the most. You know, with that championship fight and the Mir Carwin fight going on in the co-main. Real quick, and to touch up the undercard, Matt Riddle by decision over Greg Soto. Kurt Pellegrino by decision over Fabricio Camoes. Husmar Palhares by submission over Thomas Drabal. Rodney Wallace by decision over Jared Hyman, but that could go either way. Nate Diaz. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing how Nate looks at 170. He's not been doing so good in his last couple fights, unfortunately. I don't know if that has to do with weight cut or not. You know, I think Markham's a good opponent for him to step into this division at. Stylistically, Markham's probably better on the feet, got more power, no doubt there, but on the ground, I think Nate's got a huge advantage. It'll be interesting to see if Nate's any stronger at this weight, you know, if he can help his takedowns, because he doesn't have the best takedowns. You know, so obviously he needs to get the fight to the ground against not against a lot of guys, but probably against Markham is probably in his best interest. But I'm a fan of Nate, you know, I'm hoping he does well. I'm going to go with Nate by submission. I do think Markham's a good stylistic matchup for him. And this is going to be free on Spike TV before UFC pay-per-view starts, so definitely looking forward to checking out this fight. We got Ricardo Almeida against Matt Brown. You know, every time I pick against Matt Brown, he always seems to come through. The guy isn't the most talented fighter, you know, but he's got a damn a lot of a heart and a will, you know, just he's a grinder, dude. The guy is tough. Almeida, every time I pick Almeida, it seems to, you know, kind of go against what my predictions. So Almeida, huge advantage on the ground. Brown, better standing. I think what it's going to come down to is possibly cardio. Brown just never seems to tire. Just seems to beat the hell out of his opponents for 3 rounds. Whereas Almeida, strong early, but always seems to tire late. I'm not sure if this is Almeida's first fight at 170 or not. I know he was supposed to fight there. I don't know if he had got hurt in that fight, got canceled. So if it is, I'm interested to see how he handles the weight cut, how he handles his cardio, which has never been the best anyway. That being said, I'm going to go with Matt Brown by decision. Almeida could very well catch him in a submission if the fight hits the ground or when it hits the ground, but I don't know. Brown's shown, like I said, he's pretty savvy in there, so I'm going to go with Matt Brown. Not picking against him this time. Actually, now I'll probably end up losing, but anyways, whatever. No big deal. Jim Miller by decision over Mark Bocek. Just because he has better wrestling, so I think he can stifle most of Bocek's takedown attempts. On the feet, I give Miller a slight edge, not huge, slight. And Bocek's better in the submissions, but I think Miller's obviously confident enough there not to get caught. So I got Miller by decision. Jake Ellenberger against Ben Saunders. Good matchup with different styles. Ellenberger being the powerhouse wrestler. Ben Saunders being the Muay Thai guy. You know, Saunders looked great in that win over Marcus Davis. I thought Marcus Davis would win that fight, but Saunders put the Muay Thai knees on him and just freaking took Marcus Davis out, which I was glad to see. I'm not a Marcus Davis fan. Ellenberger, this is going to be somewhat similar to his fight against Carlos Condit in my eyes, except for he was a really late replacement there. If he had not got tired late, he might actually won that fight. I'm glad he did because I'm a Condit fan, but you know, stylistically, obviously Saunders is he's a lot taller, but Ellenberger's stronger. Saunders is much better on the feet probably. Stand up, Ellenberger's got some sick ground and pound, man. The guy's just a powerhouse wrestler. You know, Ellenberger showed he could take a good shot against Condit. Man, this is a tough fight to call. I can definitely see Saunders doing what he did to Davis, to Ellenberger, but I think Ellenberger's smart enough to know just take this fight down on the ground and beat the hell out of him. Saunders didn't look so good when he had Mike Swick on top of him in their fight. You know, Swick's not exactly the best wrestler, the best top position guy, so I think Ellenberger can do that, and even more so, even better than Swick did against Saunders. So I'm going with Ellenberger by decision here, if not TKO. You know, he might be able to stop him with some serious ground and pound, but I think I want to say Saunders is tough enough to make the decision, so I'm going to go with Ellenberger by decision. John Fitch, Thiago Alves, rematch. These guys fought like 3 or 4 years ago, maybe even longer than that. Fitch won by Fitch won by stoppage, I believe. I believe he hurt Thiago on the ground and just ground and pounded him out to a TKO. Either way, both are a lot better fighters since then. Both have had shots at GSP, but you know, failed. Both lost all 5 rounds to GSP. Alves has gotten a lot bigger and stronger since that first fight. Fitch, he's probably improved a little bit overall. But matchup of styles once again. Thiago much better on the feet. Fitch better with the wrestling. As good as as much as Alves has improved in his strength and his striking, as we saw against GSP, his takedown defense hasn't really improved. I mean, it did look good against Matt Hughes and Josh Koscheck, but GSP pretty much took him down at will and had his way with him on the ground. And Fitch is a good wrestler almost. I mean, he's probably a better credentialed wrestler than GSP. I don't know about as far as his wrestling inside the cage. GSP's got some great wrestling inside the cage, but I think Fitch can follow the game plan that GSP laid to get rid of Thiago. Whereas I think it'd be harder for Thiago to employ the game plan that GSP used against Fitch. If Fitch has troubles getting him down, then he is going to be in trouble. If he can't get him down like Koscheck couldn't, then he's going to be in trouble. But I think John Fitch is going to be able to get him down and overwork him. Alves took 5 rounds of a beating against GSP, so I think he can survive 3 rounds against Fitch, whose ground and pound isn't quite as devastating as George St. Pierre. So I'm going to go with John Fitch here by unanimous decision. Co-main event of the night for the interim UFC Heavyweight Championship, Frank Mir against Shane Carwin. I don't understand why it's for the interim title. I mean, I know they didn't know what was going to go on with Brock Lesnar, but now that we know that Brock is, back, is healthy and is going to be back, this shouldn't even be for an interim title in my opinion. But that being said, it is, which may play a factor because now it's a 5-round fight instead of a 3-round fight. Obviously, Carwin's never been out of the first round. Mir, doesn't go that very far in the fights either. Curious to see if this fight goes late. Who's got the better cardio? Even if it gets past the second round or to the second round, whose cardio holds up? Because Mir's bulked up. He's added 20 pounds. He's almost at 265 now, and he didn't really have to. We didn't really get to see how his conditioning would hold up against Congo because he took care of him so quick. Carwin, man, he was supposed to fight, I believe, Brock. Then I believe he's supposed to fight Kane. So he's been on the shelf for a minute now. Stand up. Mir's better technically, better all around. Carwin's got better power. Who's got the better chin? Hard to say. Carwin got rocked by Gonzaga in his last fight. But fought through it and then ended up getting the TKO win himself. Carwin's got the better wrestling. If he wants to take Mir down, though, that's a tricky proposition because we all know Frank Mir's got great jiu-jitsu. Wow. This is a tough fight to call as well, man. I feel torn on a few of these fights. They're really even matchups, which usually makes for a great event or a great fight. So we'll see. Hopefully it plays out that way. But I'm going to go with Frank Mir just because I think he has more ways to win. I think he could possibly hurt Carwin on the feet, maybe. But I think on the ground, he's better and he's more dangerous with the submission games than Carwin is with the ground and pound. Carwin's got the big punch, can hurt Mir standing, of course, and then finish him off on the ground. But I just got to go with Frank Mir. He's a more well-rounded fighter. He's got the credentials. He's beaten a lot better fighters. He's been in a lot bigger fights. And he's more proven. I just got a lot of question marks about Carwin still until I see him out of the first round or, beat a better opponent than Gonzaga. So, go with Frank Mir. I'm going to go with Frank Mir by submission. Once again, though, if this fight goes late, though, I'm very curious to see who holds up better. Main event of the evening, George St. Pierre defending his welterweight championship against Dan the Outlaw Hardy. What am I going to say? Obviously, pretty much everyone's picking GSP to win this fight. So am I. How can Dan Hardy win, though? That's the question. Obviously, he's got the hand. He's got the power in his punches. I wouldn't say he has devastating power. He didn't knock out Mike Swick, even though I hurt him on a few occasions. He did knock out Rory Markham, and he did knock out Marcus Davis. So could he beat George St. Pierre? Could he catch him with a punch a la Matt Serra? Yeah, he could. Do I see it happening? I don't see it happening. I could see him maybe trying to time. I probably might try to time one of George St. Pierre's shots. GSP, he has good feints that lead into his takedowns. I try to catch him with the uppercut shooting in, but easier said than done, right? GSP, I wouldn't say he's more well-rounded on the feet, but he is very well-rounded fighter on the feet when he, back in the day when he first came to the UFC, he used to love to stand and trade. Uses kicks and punches. On the ground, obviously St. Pierre has huge advantage with the submissions and probably with the wrestling. And that's probably what he's going to do. He's been doing it lately. He did again great against Thiago Alves and against BJ Penn. Just took those guys down and beat them up on the ground. I don't see why we do anything different here. May not be the most entertaining fight, but I might expect George just to take Dan Hardy down at will and ground and pound, and maybe go for a submission. I don't know how well Dan Hardy's submission defense is. Hasn't really been tested since being in the UFC in that department. I could see GSP very well working for some kind of submission, arm triangle, Kimura, or something like that. But either way, the bottom line is George St. Pierre is going to win this fight, most likely. Unless Dan Hardy catches him, like I said, lightning in a ball like Matt Serra did. I don't see any reason why George St. Pierre doesn't win this fight in dominant fashion. So that's my thoughts on this card. Really looking forward to it. Probably back on Sunday to get my thoughts afterwards. But until then, y'all, I'm out.